Welcome to episode 14 of the Make It Matter podcast. Today's podcast gets intense as we talk about the business principle that can be derived from a little time in the wild. Well, hello everyone. This is the Make It Matter podcast. For entrepreneurs and business owners, we believe what you do is so much more than a daily grind. We want to give you strategies that will allow your work to have more impact and resources to help you share your story with the world. So you ready? Let's go. Well, hello everybody. This is Hanju. I'm here in the studio with Dave Brubaker.
What's up, man?
What's
Good to
up,
be back.
man?
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Make It Matter podcast. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff today, but mainly something that's been going on in my life through COVID. My wife and I started camping.
Let's get wild today, bro.
Ooh,
Let's
wow.
take them out into the wilderness.
Yeah. So you and I have been talking a lot about my experiences, and you said, hey, dude, let's do an episode on camping. Give me some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I love the idea of connecting the dots and being aware of how all kinds of experiences in our life are opportunities to learn and have a new perspective. And I know you've gone into this and gotten, deep dive into this entire world of going out and getting rustic. And I just think, and I see how you've been into it, but I've also seen there are some principles that I think that are derived. That there's some truths that as you see it out in the camping world, you can apply it in business and apply it in life. So I'm kind of excited to dive into that.
Yeah. But a little bit of a backstory. I've always wanted to, be on the road, be outside. I heard some really great saying that camping, being outside equals health and happiness. I'm like, oh, dude, I want health and happiness in my life. But also, I've always enjoyed outside. You know me, bro. Like when we go out to lunch together, I'm like, dude, let's sit outside.
Every time, dude. Every time.
So camping, we eat
Before
outside.
COVID, now a lot of outdoor seating, they built it for you, dude.
Yeah,
It's the
I'm
patio
like, oh,
is
man,
that
this is awesome.
Hanju seating section.
So yeah, why not implement that into our day to day? And when we go out camping, it's like, oh, dude, we get to cook outside, we get to eat outside, we might even sleep outside. Like, how cool would that be? So I think my biggest thing was maybe talk my wife into doing it with me. And so I think ever since we've been married, I've always talked about, hey, when we retire, we're going to get an RV. We're going to travel the country. We're going to see everything. We're going to sleep outside. We're going to stars at night, the sunsets. So let's do this thing. So when COVID hit, we're like, hey, we have a minivan. We don't have to spend a lot of money on RVs. And these camping spots are not that expensive, and let's just get away here and there. And we live in Orange County, where there's a lot of amazing campsites. So why don't I try that? So I've been doing some research. I've been going to the university, the YouTube University. So watching a lot of van conversions, and so I started building stuff for the vans that turns into a sofa, converts into a bed, and putting twinkly lights in, and made a sink and all this kind of stuff. So we've been on the road doing some camping for the last couple months.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember when we were first talking about it, and I mentioned the movie Nomadland, and I remember watching the trailer with you, and it's like, yo, you're living it, dude. This is this is not just some fictional, dude. This is real life out on the road, and but it really does feel kind of like a cool. I think there are some things to learn, and I love the idea of you get out of the office to learn and get equipped even more for the work and for what do you bring back to the office after trips like this. So and I know in our conversation it's been exciting to see like what are some of the new things that you're experiencing.
Yeah, with the No Man Land, I think one of the conversation we had about that, and I don't know how to quite equate into business, but you know, the diarrhea in the bucket. Yeah.
Jeez, dude. You know, I would say though, you know, like the points that we were gonna get to about the 3 P's, dude, like the 3 P's of camping, and but no, yeah, I didn't expect us to talk about.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah,
bro.
Nothing, we don't want to get into that in the bucket, man. It's a family show, dude. It's funny. I like how you call it the university, the YOU University on YouTube, and that was the first thing I wanted to get into is even as you were just getting into it to think about the preparation side. So the first point is you got to be prepared. I mean, that's just a truth of life, truth in business, and realizing that it's a lot harder than you think, and I've just had a little window into what went into getting you ready and getting you out there on the road. But yeah, maybe talk about the preparation side.
Yeah, the preparation is what really surprised me out of all of it, because when you look at and when you kind of visualize, hey, I'm gonna be on the road for 2-3 days, no electricity plug in, no real like running water that you have access to, then there needs to be a lot of preparation so you can not only survive. I mean, it's 3 nights mostly that we've been staying out, but not only to survive, but to have a good time and not needing things. So there's so much prep work that needs to be done, which has really surprised me. But yeah, like you said, the YouTube University has really helped prepare. So everything that you think about down to food, how do you prepare food without electricity? You have to have propane. You have to, with the propane, what if it's windy outside? So you have to have these guards. Okay, so you have to have fire at night because it's going to get cold. So you have to have logs. Well, in order to get the logs going, you have to have the fire starters and different things for the fire to keep it going. At night, it gets down to like low 40s. So it gets cold. So, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Some people go like low 40s. That's not cold. We're in Southern California, man. Low 40s cold. So it's like we need a heater. But so if you get a heater, like how's the heater gonna run? Because it's high wattage. You need a lot of amps and to run this thing. How do you do it? Well, you need a power unit, some kind of, and how is that powered, and how much power does it have? Would it last 4 days with these devices and everything that's hooked up to it? And if you're gonna refuel this power source, how are you gonna do it? Well, it's solar. So we've been prepping the solar unit, how much power, doing the math on what we'll need. And so yeah, there was a lot of prep work to have a successful 3-night, 4-day stay.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
I remember after one of your first trips, and you got back and you were saying like, man, you would think there's just this like peaceful getaway, and actually you're like busy, just nonstop, just like whether it's the cooking or then the cleanup and then the prep and all these things that you're describing. It's like, dang. So I guess the big lesson I took, and when I've seen you in this journey is to actually expect it to be tough. And I know for me, I've caught myself in this, man, this is probably one of the best principles. If you're like a young, especially like an entrepreneur and you're starting your business or getting out there, I've found in my life, one of the worst thoughts you can have is when you think, oh, this should probably be pretty easy, no matter what it is. Like, I think, and a lot of times I'll go into a project thinking, oh yeah, and maybe it's my brain trying to like encourage me, like at the start of it, just to like feel, that we're going to get off on a good foot and being optimistic about how it's all going to go. But it's such a counterproductive type of thought, honestly. Like, it doesn't help really get you bringing what's required to the work. Like, no matter what, just to start off thinking, oh, this should be easy, is usually setting up an expectation for disappointment. When really, if you start off expecting it to be tough and really lay the groundwork from the beginning the right way, I think that's just a much healthier approach. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're in business and you're kind of like thinking, oh, maybe, am I doing something wrong when it's getting hard? I guess I would just want us to embrace, even relish the real preparation that's required to do something great.
Yeah, it's funny because I originally thought that it was going to be easy, quick, cheap getaway to be in the wilderness, hang out. You know what I did? I brought my books. I go, I'm going to have time to chill.
I'm just
books.
hanging out in a hammock. Dude, even hanging in the hammock is preparation, man.
Dude. You know, one day, the day that we got there was super windy. There was one day was windy. Everything chilled out after that. But we were setting up camp, and one of the things that we set up, we sleep in the converted van, but we have a separate tent that we set up, put all our supplies and stuff in. Dude, part of the tent ripped because it was so windy. And that was something that we just weren't prepared for. Mm-hmm. So even though we went through so much planning and prepping, there are things that came in our way. It was just like, man, what are you doing this kind of wind? Like, how do we cook in this kind of wind? Like, let's just go sit in a van for a while until it calms down a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, we ended up ripping this tent, and we had to do some repair on that.
Dude, it's funny that I'm pretty sure the Boy Scout motto is "Be prepared." So I of course that's a good place to start. But it's, man, I guess like so many things in life, you have these experiences and you learn to not take that for granted, man. Like it's real, and I hope we're all in life and business ready to put in that kind of work. Mm-hmm. So number 1, be prepared. And point number 2 is be pioneering. Man, I've definitely seen this in you, man. I love your adventurous spirit. And I think it is something about being open to the adventure. I think that's important in life and business. Like that you kind of have that spirit of making the work fun and new and kind of going in, having a fresh perspective as you don't just get stuck in the same old rut doing the same old thing. But I feel like I've definitely seen some pioneering spirit in what you're doing. What have you learned about kind of like having an adventure and what it means to be a pioneer out there?
Yeah, that's interesting because if you look at our journey in the last couple months, our very first experience was something we were very, very familiar with. It was a place that we've already seen. We've seen all the campsites or lots that, facing this beautiful ocean. It was local. It only took us 45 minutes to get there. It was in a neighborhood that we had our close friends that lived in the neighborhood. She knew the area really well. I didn't feel like it was a big risk because we knew exactly what to expect. We even knew the lot number that we wanted to get, and we got one near there. So we knew exactly what to expect. And we asked a lot of questions. We talked to the rangers there, and got the lowdown, and how the locals work, how the camping, all the rules and what not to do, what to do. So we felt like that was a pretty safe thing. But then our next trip, we did scout the area. And it was close, but there was a little more adventure in something that, it was a place that we weren't too familiar with. And now we're going to a place where it's 2 hours away. So we're adding a little more adventure. And then now it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you don't even get cell coverage there. Mm-hmm. And then I hear there's wild animals like birds and stuff. squirrels. You know what I mean?
Oh.
What do you do with
But
those?
some of those
bro?
squirrels are like bullies, man. They're like aggressive. I run from those things, man. So I hear you.
Yeah.
You got to be brave, dude.
Yeah. So so we're adding a little bit of adventure, and this is a place we've never been before. We've heard it from one of our neighbors at another site that we were at, and they recommended it because they don't get a lot of traffic there. So it's also a place where a lot of people don't go to. So we're adding more and more adventure slowly but surely, very organically. But we're super excited for this next one because we know we're gonna have a complete different experience.
I love the phrase that comes to my mind is fresh perspective. And if you want to talk about application into life and business, are you able to see even some of the problems that you're trying to solve with a totally new point of view? It makes me think of the movie. I quote this all the time, but we talk about Jurassic Park and that quote that says life finds a way. And I just love that type of spirit to even say that there's ingenuity. There's a way to can keep evolving and keep changing and have like a new type of awareness of how to keep moving forward. And I would hate to think that any of us are at work feeling stuck or feeling like there's nowhere to go from here when, dude, life finds a way. And that even in the midst of that daily routine and the normal mode of your work, there is a way forward. There's new things, and maybe sometimes breaking out and trying, getting out into nature, getting out into just seeing a change of scenery will hopefully open up your mind to start seeing some of the new possibilities that are right in front of you. Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because just thinking about sometimes as leaders, we might feel like not really qualified to even be in front of our companies here, because it's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know where I'm going. But I think that's part of what pioneering is. It means you got to be a leader going into places no one's been before. You might think, oh, global pandemic, I don't know what to do. Yeah, the whole world doesn't know what to do, and we need leaders to take us forward even when you may not know where you're going. You may not have the answers, but you still got to lead us into that uncertainty.
The uncertain places where birds and squirrels run wild.
Where the squirrels are in charge. So, number 1, be prepared. 2, be pioneering. And then the number 3 is be present. And man, I love that. I've definitely seen that. That's one of my favorite qualities in you. You kind of showed me what it looks like to just stay in that moment and have your eyes open to what's going on around you. So what's your experience? How has camping kind of like enlightened you in that way?
Oh, that's so good. So, yeah, one of the things that, we say busy prepping and cleaning and those kind of things. But one of the criteria that we always had every single day was that, and we said to ourselves, let's never miss a sunset, because the sunsets are beautiful there. And one of the things I posted on my personal Instagram was, hey, look at this sunset. Hey, by the way, it sunsets here every single day. But isn't that crazy that, we live in this world where it sunsets every day, but only time we really get to be present and realize and get to experience being part of is like when we take ourselves out of our day-to-day and go camping and we're sitting there watching the sunset, and we look around and all the people, all the lots, and all these people next to us, they're doing the same thing. They have 2 chairs, 3 chairs. They're all facing the exact same place, all sitting there watching the sunset. I thought, wow, there's something to be learned from this.
That is, man. And I've said this a bunch in the last year. I would hope our experience over the last year would teach us to not take things for granted. And I'm talking about life and business again. Do you see what's right in front of you? You mentioned, we're in Orange County right now, Southern California, and all of us are a few minutes from the ocean. And when's the last time you looked at it, let alone walked on the beach? Like, do you even appreciate that it's right there in your backyard? And And you might, okay, fine. It's a nice view. It's a beautiful sunset, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I have that as my desktop wallpaper. What else do you need? Okay, bro, just pause and realize what we're trying to cultivate here is a way of seeing. And I think if you're not careful, this isn't just about a daily sunset. It's about, are you aware of the resources in front of you? And are you even enjoying it? Are you in the middle of living the dream that you've always wanted to do? This is the work. You've got this moment, your life, and do you see it? Is it fruitful? Does it matter? That's our podcast. Make it matter. And is this all of this stuff that you've been working for? Can you push back from the desk for a minute and realize, okay, what's happening in front of you? What are the good things that there's not just problems at work? It's not just difficulty. It's not just another rough 8 hours of trying to get through today. No, dude, there's some amazing good things right in front of you if you open your eyes.
Yeah, so it's so easy to get stuck. And, when I wake up in the morning, I have this morning routine where I grab my journal, and first thing I write is what I'm grateful for, because you forget when you don't even realize this life that you get to live, and that when I took the entrepreneurial path in my life, in my career, I remember those days when I woke up in the morning and I dreaded going to work in the morning, because I knew that there's problems piled up and to deal with meetings and different very difficult people and situations that I had to deal with. But now I'm realizing, oh my gosh, I don't have to deal with those things anymore. But how often do I remind myself, like, how grateful that I should be for the place that I'm in now versus the place I was before. And if you don't take the time to make an effort to think about that and be grateful for it, then you forget. Then it just becomes a norm, and you just keep complaining about, oh, I wish my life was like this. No, you gotta think, it was like this, now it's like this. How amazing it is now. So I'm always reminded. So that's a good reminder, bro.
Yeah, dude, that we get to do this.
Yes.
That this is like, and it's a joy, and it's what. When we were in college working so hard or whatever, all the journey that brought us up to this point. Right now, there's a ton of aspects of life that was what we were dreaming of. And we're in it right now. Dude, it's like they say that phrase about, these are the good old days. And it's going to have a sunset again tonight if we're paying attention.
Dude, thanks for letting me talk about this today. I really do think that getting out there away from the daily norm definitely gives you a new perspective. It did for me. And I like how you broke it down. Be prepared, be pioneering, and be present. The 3 Ps. And what a great lesson for all of us. And even those that do not camp and you don't have any desire to camp, that's okay. No need. As long as you find your own way to step out and learn to see things a bit differently, I think it will bring more clarity, maybe creativity, and even more courage to shift from the grind. Those are my 3 C's, bro. You came up with 3 P's. I was inspired to come up with my 3 C's. Well, thanks for listening, you guys. And you know what? You heard of us. Now we would love to hear from you. So leave us a comment on the iTunes review. Contact us directly. Tell us about your camp experience, whatever. We'd love to hear from you. So go to bossmediagroup.com. That's BOS, 1S, mediagroup.com/say hello. We added a record button on there so you can send us by voice a question or a comment or shout out, whatever you want. We might even play it on this podcast, but we just want to hear from you. So in the meantime, thank you so much for listening, and remember to always make it matter. Bye for now.